What up, what up, what up, y'all? Here we are. Finally made it to the General's Report. Welcome back, show. Uh, Today we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of community activities, a bunch of issues we got going on in our life. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about whatever's on your mind. You know what I mean? What's going on in the hood? What's going on in your mind? What's going on in these schools? So this is going to be an open platform where people can come on and talk about a lot of the stuff that's going on in their lives in this world. Um, and we're open for all opinions. You know what I mean? Anything I say is my opinion. Doesn't mean that it's a fact. Anything I say also doesn't represent the swag organizations and programs or my family life. A lot of this stuff is just about my opinion, what I feel, and this is my platform. So I want to give people the opportunity to come up here and say some stuff, but I also have some stuff that I want to say. So I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes to get up on here. I understand and respect that some people don't want to be a part of the show and they don't need another podcast. And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But this is for the people who enjoy what I say and want to hear what I got to say. And whoever don't want to hear it, don't watch it. You know what I'm saying? But we need this platform. I need this platform. So just want to say salute to whoever's out there watching and salute to those who's going to watch after the show is over. So today I talked about a few things, but again, we're gonna wait a few more seconds. I'm not gonna wait a long time because I don't anticipate you guys all watching at the same time. But I do want to thank my man Sai, one of our UB students. He's helping me out with the producing. He set up the room, so I'm thankful for him. I'm thankful for my mentors, my boy Big Joe Christie, Brian Heron, people like that who give me input, on what I should say, how I should soften it up a little bit, just a little bit. And salute to everybody out there that supports our swag programs. So that's what we're gonna be talking about. So the first thing I want to talk about is this school thing, this school shooting thing. I know back in the day, a lot of kids when it was time to take a test, they had a spelling test, math test, and some of y'all didn't know 2 + 2 was 6. That all of a sudden now you want to blow up the school. I do think there's some real seriousness in this, and I think that we could talk about that as well. I think that people have their own opinion on whether the kids should go to school and they shouldn't go to school. And I don't think anybody's opinion is wrong, because we all raised our kids differently. We all have other responsibilities and things in our life that we have to do. And some of it could be just childcare. I know some parents got to go to work. Their job don't care about whether the kid's school is going to get shot up or whatever, or you got to find a babysitter. So there's different things that we could talk about when it comes to that, and I would love to hear some of y'all opinions on that. One of the things I always talk about, and I think that is missed in this community that we don't really stress enough about, is mental health. A lot of us are dealing with a lot of life issues, business issues, relationship issues that we internalize and that we don't speak up about. I know recently a lot of people have been committing suicide, which we know has been going on for years, but now with the social media, it's a lot more magnified. But I feel like a lot of men are saying, people say, we should speak up and we should talk to you about, some of the things that are going on in our lives that make us depressed or feel certain kind of ways. But as soon as we do that, then, as my boy Joe Christie would say, then we solve. You know what I'm saying? But somebody like me, I wear my emotions on the sleeve, whether it's through my business, whether it's through some of the life things that I have going on, or just a feeling I might have for a kid situation. Because a lot of our kids are out here struggling. If the families are struggling, imagine the kids. I've been doing this thing about 20 something years, man. And I've seen some life situations that these kids are going home to that you would think you would see on TV as Sally Struthers or something, But we got our own Sally Struther kids over here. And and I don't think that we should talk about those kids when it's just when we see somebody getting killed in the street. Don't worry about me. I'm sweating because I got my coffee over here. I gotta have that. So if anybody got anything to say about that, let's talk about it. What up, my boy Timmy from New Haven? Timmy's one of the kids that also grew up in some of the programming that we did, and Timmy's out there giving back to those kids. So, again, I just want to salute to everybody that gives their time, to give your time out to the community, to pour into others when a lot of us need people pouring into us. There's many a nights that I go home that I need somebody to talk to, or that I need to get some stuff off my chest that maybe my relationship can't help me with, because they're not in the field that I'm in. And I think that's with a lot of people. We need these small groups where we could just get up and talk about certain things, especially men. I know a lot of men are tough and I don't need nothing, I don't got this, but I know there's a lot of guys out here that I talk to that's struggling. And as you're right, Tim, it's time to make a change. And I know we all could talk about it, and we all could say, yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, but life happens. Work happens, kids happen, and things like that. So that's why I wanted to create this platform again, so people can come on and say what they want to say and how they feel. We can bring you in live. You can come in on your Zoom, on your cell phone, and give your opinion. But again, any opinion that I have is my opinion. It's not a right or wrong answer, and I'm not going to let you prove it wrong unless I try to make something factual, you know. But a lot of the things that are going on in some of these people and kids' lives I already been through. And through this show, you guys are going to hear a lot about some of my life situations and choices that I made, whether they were good, bad, and and reasons on why I continue to do things and why I don't do certain things anymore. So again, I just want to salute to everybody out there that's checking in and watching. So one of the topics that I talked about today was let's talk about education, since we're talking about school, right? I feel like a lot of these kids, and this has been historically throughout, you know, um, my time living, that a lot of kids have been passed through the system. You know, let's put that out there. I want to know what you guys feel about people being passed through the system. And what is it that you think we can help? Because I feel like we have all these organizations out here, all these people out here, all these highly educated college people out here, that can also help give back time, give back information. Sometimes you don't even have to come to a class. You can just give somebody the information on a path of how to fill out college programming applications, how to go for, what is it, FAFSA. You know what I mean? Some people don't know how to do that stuff. And you're like, well, they should know. They should have went to this and they should have went to that. Yeah, but a lot of people, like I'm saying, even with social media, everybody don't have a computer that they can go home and watch this show. You know, so I want to know, like, how can we help educationally help some of these kids, even adults? Because I know, like, when my daughter was in school, they transitioned into some new math where it was like, okay, the kids got to learn math the long way, rather than the way that I learned in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Now they doing some new math. So how come we can't have like parent workshops? And if the board of ed don't want to do it, how come we can't have nonprofits like myself or other organizations hold small group classes for parents that do want to come and help educate their kids, or learn on what their kids are learning in school during the day? Because a lot of us have been out of school, what, 30 years, 20 some years? We don't know and have the same practice skills that the kids get in school. So how do I know? And then I hear people say, "Oh, well, parents, we have these workshops and meetings. Parents don't show up." Yeah, well, that's why you should have both. Like I see Bridgeport, they're fighting over. They should have in-person and online meetings, right? But why can't you have both? Why can't you have the meeting in person for the people that can go there and have it also online for the people that can't go there? You know what I'm saying? Rather than saying, oh, it's either one or the other. You know what I'm saying? We got all these millions of dollars, that a lot of these cities got from COVID money. Why can't we use some of that money to help pay for the things to be at both online and offline? You know, um, and I think we need to have support groups where parents who, let's just say, from the 90s and the 80s, a lot of parents were caught up through the drug game, right? And I know you guys want to say no, but a lot of these parents, that's kids are not a lot, but there's a lot of parents whose kids are in these public schools that might not have graduated high school for whatever reason, whether it was because teen pregnancy, whether it's because they had to get a job early, whether whatever their life situation would have happened. So I think that if we have more support groups for these kids, after hours for the parents and the kids that we can help with that. I also think a great move in Bridgeport was, and around the state is hiring more Hispanic and African American teachers and administrators. I think deans are good because you get to have people in the school who the kids can relate to. Like, they know this person, they know that person from being in their community. But I think if we can get some of these board of eds and put a little more pressure on them, giving some of our assistant principals who are minorities an opportunity to lead, whether it's on a 2-year or 3-year contract, the same way they give these superintendents a 2-year, 3-year deal, then they fire them after a year. So I think that as communities, if we can come together, as y'all say, because we're always on Facebook, oh, we as Black people in the community need to come together, but we not, we not. Um, but if we can get those that really do care and to come together, and let's fight for some of these administrators who's been in the system for a long time as assistant principals. Because I feel like if some of them are good enough, in my opinion, to be assistant principals for 15 years, they should get the same opportunity as a person coming from California to come here to get an assistant. I mean, to get the head principal, because they have the credentials or because they were already a principal at some school. Um, One of the other things I want to talk about with education is the teachers. I love teachers, don't get me wrong, but I feel like our schools, mainly the inner city schools, are being cheated. I feel like a lot of the teachers come out of those colleges, and I've seen it firsthand, being involved in the school in New Haven. A lot of teachers, I haven't been in Bridgeport long, so I can't speak on Bridgeport, but I know a lot of teachers come into the inner city schools and they teach for 2 or 3 years and then they leave. I don't know why. Some people say because that's all they need is 2 or 3 years of experience in the inner city and they get more money in the suburbs. But why can't we vet out more teachers and people who actually really want to help in our communities, and not just use them for 2 or 3 years and then they leave our system. What up, Jocelyn? What up, Stacy? Wagwan, Stacy. Kia, what up? You know. So, Jocelyn, what up? So yeah, I just feel like if we can create more wraparound services without the grants, because I feel like a lot of people think that we have to have grants and we have to have the city and all these other people come and give us money to be able to do programs. If you really want to do it, do it for $2, do it for $3. Figure out what it is that you want to make. Do you want to make money? Do I want to get paid to do this? If so, then say, okay, I want to get paid $25 an hour to teach a class of 15. So then you charge $2 a kid. You know what I'm saying? But why we have to charge $250 a kid? Why we got to charge $100 a kid when we're trying to give back to our inner city kids? And I have mad love. I have mad love for the kids in the suburbs and parents and people who can't afford to give their kids opportunities to learn, whether it's through other tutorial programs or going to college prep programs and all that. That's why I have to salute Teresa Wilson, because she's given at least as many kids as she can an opportunity to know what a college experience is like, to know what it might take to go there and listen to other people who went on to college and stuff that look like the kids that she's servicing. But why can't there be more? Why can't Miss Wilson have more space to be able to provide for more of our kids, or have satellite sites? And I think with that and being able to help our community, and I'm gonna give this to New Haven, even though I'm a Bridgeport, I love my city. One thing about New Haven is they stick to their Black people are up there working together. You know what I'm saying? They have came together and they work together. You know what I'm saying? And I want to bring that same type of mentality back to Bridgeport. Um, I know there's people down here that's already doing some of the things that I'm doing here at our organization or around the community, but that's why they got Burger King, McDonald's, White Castle. Everybody sell burgers, but it's our own different flavors of how we sell them. And swag, we have our own style and our own way of dealing with the kids, talking to the kids and parents, and we have our ways of offering things where we might not have the finances to have. Oh, he doesn't. You see how he posted that? Oh, he didn't. He should have a flyer. He should have this and that. You know. But what if I can't afford a flyer? So that means I can't promote my organization or my program, you know. And again, our thing here is to be able to empower our community. Um, and being we have this space, as you know, I have a 20,000 square foot space. We're trying to bring in other community partnerships, right? One thing people always say, "Oh, Gary want to be in charge. Gary think he's the man, and Gary's trying to do this, and he ain't gonna let nobody do this." I'm open for everybody to come in here, But again, a lot of people come here and they wanna come in here and have free space, but then they don't want to talk about the space. You know what I'm saying? They want to come in here and want me to give them free space, but then they want to charge the people in the community. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather have empty classrooms than let you come in here and use it for free, and you benefit financially and the kids don't benefit. And that's more what I'm looking for. I'm looking for community partners who can do certain things. Like you might be able to do arts and crafts. I have an empty classroom. I provide the classroom space, you provide the arts and crafts. That's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm saving you money, right? But some people, no, I don't want to go over there because Gary's going to try to take credit for this and this and that. You don't even have to talk to me. And we've been in those situations where I've had other people in here, other organizations, or people that come in and host events. And if you don't want to involve us in it, I'm fine with that. And if you don't want to talk to me about what you're doing, you just want to come in here and do it, I'm fine with that. As long as you're being safe with the kids and you offering what you say you're offering, I'm cool with that. So on the educational tip, I will come back on that, but I want to be able to, again, let's talk about ideas. Let's not talk about who's doing it or what their motive is and everything. Let's talk about solutions. Everybody want to talk about community events, right? Oh, I'm doing my community event over here, or I'm doing this over here, or you trying to do the same book bag giveaway as what's the name? But why can't us five come together and do one big, huge book bag giveaway and have everybody on the flyer? You know what I'm saying? Because it's egos. And I don't have an ego because for me, I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do anyway. And I ain't got nothing to have an ego. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing but confidence. And some of y'all might call it arrogance, but I call it confidence. And I'm confident in what I do. And even when I struggle, and even when it's not at the max of what I want it to be, I believe in it. And that's what I want to pour into these kids is hope and belief. Not just hope, because we're getting sold a lot of hope. I don't want no more hope. I need action. I need people to do stuff. You know, so that's one of the other things I want to talk about. Another thing I want to talk about is it's funny how whenever somebody comes up with an idea or a solution, or I'm going to do this show or I'm going to do that, people always say, "Oh, we don't need this," and here's just another person doing it. First of all, I've been doing this online stuff for like 20 years. You know what I'm saying? If you look back on my pages and all that stuff, I've been trying to do this communication and media for over 20 years because we need our own platform. I don't have the luxury of being on Channel 12 every week. If I give out bananas or if I'm shooting a hoop, I don't get to be on Channel 12. And I don't care about that, right? Because you know why? I got my own platform. I got my own 6,000 people who are going to ghost watch after I come off. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't do it to be important, like I always say. I do it to be impactful, and I'm looking for more people out here that can help be impactful in our communities and not just on their own, but together, you know? Um, so that's another one of the things I wanted to talk about is, again, I'm not trying to be like somebody else's podcast. I'm not trying to, go on Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be able to have a voice and speak from my opinion, you know what I mean? And to move forward. So let me see what else we can talk about. Let me take a sip of my, I gotta have this. Where else were we at? No, Gary is doing it for the kids. What up, Jocelyn? I'm trying to. Real talk, bro. And Triz and I definitely appreciate you. What up, Triz? What up, Big Lou? What was one of the other things we put up here? Let me see. If anybody got anything to say or anybody want to come on the show, you can come on here. Send me an inbox or something. You can come right from your bed, right from your house, not from your bed, but from your house, and to bring you on live. Let's see. So another one of the things I said, let's talk about partnering for more life skill programs and workshops like home economics instead of talking about opening up more big booty Judy hookah spots. Right. So the city is overwhelmed with hookah spots right now, as we all know. I don't have no problem with hookah spots because I don't smoke hookah, so I don't go there. but I heard it's a good time. You know what I'm saying? And I know some of the hookah spots are getting a bad name, but it ain't the hookah spot; it's the people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that with people and alcohol and all that, things are going to happen. Whether it's at a hookah lounge, whether it's at a Legion party, or people just hanging out on the green, alcohol and people becomes sometimes an issue. You know what I mean? So I think that if we just have more activities and maybe space some of our stuff out, where everybody ain't getting out drunk at the same time in the same spot, um, especially with limited police, I think that maybe we can cut down on some of the issues that happen across the city, state, and world. But I know like in our city in Bridgeport, everybody lets out at the same time. Everybody's down there drunk at the same time or having a good time at the same time. But there's always that bad banana that's gonna come out here and shoot it up. You know what I'm saying? And does that represent all of us? No. You know what I'm saying? But we all have to pay the consequence for that. And I tell these kids that all the time. One thing I hate is if one of us, black or minorities, shoot somebody, then we all shoot somebody. But that ain't me, because I ain't shooting nobody. I ain't killing nobody, because I won't be able to sleep. You know what I'm saying? My conscience won't let me get past that. So, I think again, if we can come up with some partnerships, to work together as a community to be able to offer these kids, how to cook chicken, how to boil rice, because you'd be surprised how many of these kids can't even make their own dinner at home. That's why they Uber eating. You know what I'm saying? But can we all really afford to Uber eat? No. We need to be able to make our own hot dogs, hamburgers, and rice. Some kids don't even know how to do that. They don't even know how to put grease in the pan. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if we can come up with more solutions on programming, more life skill solutions, that the kids can benefit from, other than just talking about it, because a lot of us are just going to talk, yeah, man, me and Pookie going to do this together, G, man. Were you trying to talk about something that somebody's already doing? Yeah, but does everybody know? You know? And even with this show, everybody's not going to see it because everybody's not on my Facebook page. Everybody's not on social media all day. Like I'm on there, but I don't comment on everybody's stuff. You know what I mean? I post a lot of stuff, but I'm not just sitting up there looking at everybody's stuff. So when people feel like, oh, well, Gary, you don't respond, you don't comment on my stuff, or I posted it, I'm like, it's 6,000 people on my Facebook friend, on my Facebook page. There's no way I can see everybody's post. And the people that do send it directly to me or inbox it to me, then yeah, I'll support it. But who am I anyway? If I don't support it, I ain't nobody. I'm one person. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think that if we can all come and support each other through our events, through our program partnerships, rather than judging each other. Well, he shouldn't be this because he doesn't have a degree, or this one shouldn't be this because he went to jail. You know what I'm saying? But you might need that guy that went to jail with the guy that degree to be able to get to this one kid. You know what I'm saying? But if this guy that's went and got a degree and been in college and grew up in a good neighborhood, how can he relate to the kid that lived in poverty or lived in the projects and struggled every day and ate oodles and noodles in Georgia Hots for a whole week? Because that's real. You know what I'm saying? But and well, I know you guys are gonna fight. Oh well, when we went to college, that's what we learned and this and this and that. Yeah, but you can learn. That book ain't gonna tell you what that kid from Father Panic Village is going through every day. That book ain't gonna tell you what that kid from Brookside in New Haven is going through every day, or Garden Street is going through every day. Like I sit here across the street from a funeral home, which is probably the busiest funeral home in the city of Bridgeport, right? And every day I watch them wheel bodies in and out of that garage into the facility, their facility, and just see it every day. Daily trauma, daily trauma. And then our kids and our families and our people have to walk out of our facility or just walk down the regular street and just see it. So, we internalize all that feeling where it almost becomes emotionalist, where if somebody got killed at a park, right? This is facts. I mean, this is not facts, but if somebody got killed at a park in your community at 9 o'clock last night, right, on a Wednesday, and today they had summer league, they had fall league game at that same park on that same court, those kids will be out there like nobody never got killed. In my opinion, that's part of the trauma. You know what I'm saying? Because we just look past it. We don't have no like feelings of death, And I don't know why. I don't know why. And again, that's why I have this platform, because maybe y'all can give me answers on why and how to deal with it. I try to do things like with the kids and the people with feeding them, right? I feed kids because I feel like that's a way of first of all, if I could get to the kid's stomach to be able to make them feel good and comfortable and healthy, that they'll open up, and it works every time. If I give somebody walking down the street, a bag of chips and a water out of this building, they'll give me a whole 15-minute conversation, right? But in another day, if I don't give them nothing and they just see me standing on the front porch, they're gonna walk by me looking like they're ready to shoot up the place, because I don't know what that person is going through. And little things like that has helped me grow within the programs and things that I'm doing in our community. Like I look here and I watch people walk up and down East Washington Avenue, coming from downtown over to the east side of Bridgeport, right? And these guys are coming out of jail. They're coming from wherever, and they ain't got nothing. They don't have no. They don't have any clothes. They don't have any shoes. They don't have no deodorant, toothpaste, nothing. So I see guys like that. I'm like, yo, man, what's up, man? How you doing? You all right? You good? And some of them will respond, some of them won't. And then even if they don't respond, I'm like, yo, listen, man, if you ever need some extra clothes and everything, this is what we have over here. And I'm thankful for the people who've donated clothes and sneakers, because again, you never know what these kids are going through out here. Never know what these families are going through. And I always say, like, even with the reentry, right? Because we could tip into that too, with the reentry program. A lot of guys are coming home from the 80s and 90s who's been in jail for 15, 20, 30 years, and they ain't got nothing. They don't even know where they're going. They don't know where their side of town is, unless other than the street, because other than the street name, because everything is knocked down and rebuilt. And I feel like reentry is good, but I think we also need to think about prevention, like prevention programs. Swag is over here, and we're trying to do some preventative programming. But I think again, we gotta reach to the basics, which is, yo, how you doing today, man? Kids don't even know how to welcome you when you say how you doing. They're like, what? What you say? You know what I mean? Everything is what? What? And I'm looking at I'm saying, you talking to me? You talking to your mother? Who you talking? I'm not your teacher. And I feel like a lot of these kids, they need that. They need, in my opinion only, they need that male person that can put their voice in their chest. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my voice, I feel, is almost like a physical contact to a kid. And a lot of people say, "Oh, Gary, you're too aggressive, or you're real sarcastic with the kids." But part of the sarcasm is to be able to get the kids to think a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of them, they might not even realize until they get home, like, "Oh, shoot, Mr. Gary, I thought about what you said yesterday." Boom, boom, boom. And or Mr. Gary, I thank you for correcting me on this because I shouldn't have did that. Or Mr. Gary, I'm sorry I yelled at my mother. But we can't blame the parents, because again, a lot of these parents has got 2, 3 kids, and they working. They working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. They got baby daddies out here, that got 5 kids, and they in and out of jail, and some of them just working a lot. I know some of these dudes that are firemen and COs, man, them dudes are working 16-hour shifts. Excuse me, because they got to provide for their families, or their kids, or whatever, their lifestyle. So I think that we should stop pointing fingers, because we all have our life issues. Start again, just trying to find solutions and acting on them. You know what I mean? Let's not come up with 20 solutions and not act on one of them. Let's come up with 5 solutions and come up with small committees without egos, right? And let's come up with 5 committees of, okay, let's tackle together this. You know what I'm saying? And let this one lead it, because this one is stronger at that. And I always tell people, I'm not your average executive director, because look, everybody knows I went to 3 different high schools. I went to Bullet Havens, West Haven High, and Hardin, and got my GED, right? But I got life experiences, you know what I'm saying? And nobody can take those away from me. And they ain't in the book. They not in your Southern Connecticut book. They not in your NYU book, and I've learned to deal with my community through my life experiences. So when people talk to me about certain situations, the majority of the time I've been through them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with saying, yep, I was in the group home. Yep, I was hard headed. My peoples put me in a group home. Yep. My parents were separated young. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I didn't want to listen at 15, 16. So I ran away and lived house to house till I was 25, right? But I still was able to fight through all of that and come out on the other side to be able to come back and help people. You know what I'm saying? And nope, I'm not embarrassed that I was in Janice's house. Nope, Douglas' house, group home in Hartford, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these kids, they make those decisions and they have to go out and face some of the life consequences. You know what I'm saying? And I faced them, you know what I mean, and dealt with them, and I have to live with them. But I use my experiences from as ways of building and helping in the community. So I think that with that, we need to try to help some of these people, man, and try to stop trying to judge somebody on what they're trying to do, and try to see how you can help empower them. Not just with me, with other organizations. You know, and I think if we can do that. Another thing I wanted to talk about, because again, we all over the place. He lost some weight. What up, Yusuf? My boy Yusuf. John Winthrop. I only had two friends, two people I knew that went to John Winthrop. My aunt Doris, because she worked there, and Yusuf. So there's only two people I know that went to John Winthrop. But Yusuf is my boy. I appreciate you, man, for being a brother to me since he was like my brother. You know, we went through some of the same stuff, you know, and he always thought he could sing better than me. Maybe one day, Yusuf, we can have a sing off out here. Because, you know, Yusuf always thought that he could sing, you know. He was my backup singer for when I was singing Troop all the time. But yeah, so I think that if we could talk about and bring some resources together to help, you know, we'll be good. As far as education, let's go back into education again. You know, I want to talk about how do we help kids? How can we help kids that are how can we help kids that are grades behind academically in testing to be able to catch up? Not catch from sixth grade level to ninth grade level, but at least getting them into some of the basic reading levels. You know, I think a lot of our kids are out here struggling, and I think that's where the dropouts come in at. And again, we're in these major cities where truancy officers can't catch everybody. So I think that we need to be able to find other solutions of education uh, that we can grab some of these young boys, you know, probably feed them, probably give them some rec, but also make them come and do some academic enrichment stuff, you know. And I think that we really need people who can understand that this father who's 44 years old needs to come up to a ninth grade reading level or ninth grade math level, which some of y'all might not believe is possible that a 45-year-old or a 50-year-old could be on a eighth grade reading level, you know? So I think that if we can get some teachers or some retired teachers who are willing to give some time, and it don't have to be here. Again, it could be anywhere. It could be at Seaside Park at the bench. It don't matter to me. But I'm saying I think we need to try to start meeting some of our people where they at, you know, through educational programs, through again life skill programs, just how to greet somebody, how to like walk in a room, you know, like I see kids, I'm standing here having a full conversation with someone, and they'll walk right in between us. Don't say excuse me, no nothing, you know. So, and I make them bring your little butt back over here and ask them, "Do you see me?" Like, do you see me, right? You do see her, right? Yeah, him, right? Yeah. So, how do you feel like you can just walk right through this with us standing here? Oh, my bad. I didn't know. Yeah, I know you didn't know. So walk back and say, excuse me, and then go around. You know what I'm saying? You know, how about when you walk in, you say, how you doing? I'm all right. Okay, good. How's your day? It's good. All right, good. Or bad or whatever. You know? So I think some of the basic fundamental stuff that we need to have around here with some of these kids. Um, so I think that if we can do like some path to path to a GED program. You know what I mean? Let's do it. I talked to Mr. Kirkland, Joe Kirkland, of Firebird Society. How come we can't do a path to a fireman class? You know, a path to police, whatever. You know, little small programs that we start them off with basic learning skills. You know what I'm saying? Which is you got to be able to read, you got to be able to do math to become a fireman. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of them out here promoting we need minority firefighters if we don't have enough educated black or Spanish um, people, that can be qualified for that test. One thing I was happy to be a part of was that the Firebirds hosted a pre-test for the upcoming Bridgeport Fire Department test. Man, it was like 60 people in there that was looking to get the information to be able to become a firefighter. So those are the things that I think we need, and not just for the black and the brown, but for everybody. Because our kids need diversity. And that's one of the things I try to push through with our basketball programs and other programs is bringing in not just kids from the Bridgeport area, but from the suburban areas, from the Monroes, the Trumbulls, the Madisons, the Guilfords, because our kids need to learn how to be around other nationalities, other kids, and I always tell people, a lot of people, you'll get these kids in here and I'm like, yo, can you go get Johnny over there? Right. And like a kid will say, who, that white kid? Who, that Chinese kid? Who, that Indian kid? You know what I'm saying? Rather than, oh, the kid over there with the black shirt on or the kid over there with the red shirt on, but it's little things like that can also help those kids in the future, whether it's through going to events, going to get a job, you know what I mean? Different things like that. So I feel like if, again, we can have people who want to come in and help enhance those type of programs or help offer those type of programs, I'm open for that. Yusuf, but you lost weight. Yeah, I lost weight because I'm wearing stripes. Stripes make me look skinny. I'll drink to that. Let me see. What was one of the other things I wanted to talk about? I talked about, let me see, my Uncle Steve commented on something. I might have to talk about how long have our kids been pushed through elementary and middle school while not being within 2 grade levels. That's what I just said. So my Uncle Steve says Gary, where have you been? Big issue in Bridgeport Public Schools for the past 23 years. Remember how we ran our program? Homework first, practice second. Hardin High School basketball staff was doing this back in the late 80s and 90s, so our athletes would have grades to be able to play. Now kids play sports first, then go home, don't do homework, if study, thus low grade level. For some reason, they don't think school is important. Well, we have to change those habits because high school goes by so fast. They need to be student athletes, not just athletes. And they can do it. Hardin High School, Bassick High School, Central High School, student athletes did it in the past. They can do it now. Would you agree? I agree. And I just had that conversation with somebody today about, how some of us are celebrating these kids leaving our public schools to go to these prep schools and, different things like that. And I get it. Some parents don't feel safe at the public schools. And in my opinion, I say that the streets and stuff was a lot wilder in the 80s and 90s. I think you had to duck and dive a lot more worse in-person situations than you do now. But then there's those that say social media is a bigger distraction and the video games are a bigger distraction. Um, where I feel like, in the 90s, like I tell people all the time, in 1985, and this might be a fact, 1985 to 2000, over 550 people were killed in Bridgeport, right? Homicides, murders, not, die in a car accident or nothing. 550 minority men were killed in Bridgeport from 1985 to 2000, right? Imagine how many families were affected by that. Not just one family, the family of the person, but the families of the kid's father, the family whose person did it. You know what I'm saying? There's families, there's homicides out here that people know who did it, right? So they're not really unsolved, but because of the threat or the fear, people don't say. So now I have to walk around knowing that Pookie killed my cousin or my brother or my father, you know what I'm saying? But because of the code of the street, I can't do it. I can't tell. So I feel like that's trauma, you know what I'm saying? That I have to deal with every day. And I internalize that. So that's why now when somebody step on my Jordans, I might shoot them. You know what I'm saying? Not me, but for an example, because I got so much going on in my mind and in my life and that I internalize, you know? And I've been through that. I've been through trauma with and depression when my grandfather died. My grandfather raised me. Even though my father was around and he helped support me there, but I lived with my grandparents, and they gave me that tough love, man. And it was, I think we might need more grandparents, but at least over 60 to start raising these kids again, because I think the fear of your grandparents and the love of your grandparents help mold a lot of us. I think that when you speak from experience and you've been through things, you've got hurt through things, but then you was able to recover from it. I think you can explain it more than the people that are in the mix that's going through the trauma right now, that's trying to figure this thing out. Because there's a lot of parents out here that are 35, they got 3 kids, they got 4 kids, and they just trying to figure it out. They got 3 baby daddies, 2 baby daddies. They hate each other. They don't, one's gonna support my kid. I'm not gonna support the other 2 kids or the other 3 kids. And you don't know what that kid is thinking, but I do. You know why? Because I was that kid. You know, and I knew a lot of the stuff that I internalized, and I felt that could have drove me to probably suicide. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Because it was just a lot. And you don't have answers. And when you don't, luckily, I was thankful enough to have, especially through my trauma, my depression, was I was able to have people like Brian Heron, people like Nadine Damone, um, to be able to come and talk to me through the phone. Well, not come in person, but to talk to me through the phone, through text messages. And it kind of helped me come up out of that thing. That's how I ended up back in Bridgeport, by the way, is, after I went through a lot of deaths and, like I said, depression with my grandfather dying, um, I wanted to come back to Bridgeport. And Nadine Damone, a couple people helped me come back. And that's when I met with Bob Keeley and ended up at the Orchid. Was my experience at the Orchid great? No, it was okay. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like my mission was there to help turn that place around and to help those kids have an opportunity to be a kid. And that's more what I'm about. Let me see if I got any other comments up here. Where we at? Let me look. What was the other thing we talked about? Okay, let's talk about this AAU thing. So one of the posts I put today was I might have to talk about how these AAU organizations are paying our inner city adults to coach, then charge kids $850 for 8-week sessions of basketball. And then you guys want to ask, why is the city school basketball talent so bad? And at the same point, I'm saying is they steer the best kids that they choose through AAU to the Catholic schools and the prep schools. And then the kids somehow miraculously end up still in junior college. So let me explain what I mean by that. All right, because I got a couple people that commented on that. And shout out to the AAU guys. Doc Kennedy out of New Haven Heat does a great job with helping a lot of our kids. There's a bunch of people, so I'm not gonna name everybody because I don't get along with everybody. But I know my man Kennedy, he does a great job with our city kids. I said, but I'm gonna read one of my uncle. My uncle had another comment. Let me see, Doc. Doc said his high school team plays in the spring and the summer. I'm like, yep. So one of my things was, like I said, I know there's a local organization that charges $850 or $800 for 8 weeks of travel basketball. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? How am I supposed to get better at basketball? I got to pay $800 to play against the 2 towns over. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It's becoming a money grab. I know a lot of people used to try to say, well, Gary's all about the money with basketball. Everything he do is about the money. They don't say how many kids Gary let play for free, how many kids Gary let pay for a discount. How many opportunities did Gary give to those kids to play against other talent that was even better than the talent that they played through travel teams, right? My thing is the city basketball. When I grew up, and I know the funds might have been different because People's Bank was behind it, but we didn't have to pay to play basketball. We had rec leagues all over the city. We had you had the school stuff going on. We had open rec. Now everything is pay to play. That's why I had to go back and really think about it though, and it was a financial hit. But I had to go back and say, you know what, I'm offering free basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way I feel like everybody's gonna get a chance to play, right? And there's enough platforms and high level high-level AAU programs out here for those kids that are elite that they can go play on. But what about the kids that got to play with those elite kids when they go to Hardin, Bassett, Central, or um, whatever the public school, Hill House, or whatever the public school is, right? And then I get again that some of the parents don't feel safe sending their kids there, or they don't feel the education. They're not going to get the right education over there. But I can fight against that because I've known kids that went to public school and went on and played Division 1 basketball or Division 2 or whatever it is level that they played on. I just think it's the kids' work ethic, and again, meeting the kid where they are. A lot of people want to train these kids, or a lot of people want to say, "Yo, come play with me because you good, and I'll let you play for free." But nobody's asking that kid for his transcript. Nobody's asking that kid, "Let me see your report card." And I think that's one of the most important things. Is like, I want to be able to offer programs where, you know what, if you go to school, how about go to school and just get all C minuses, you could play over here for free. You know what I'm saying? How about come to after school program over here, and if you do homework, you could play for free. You know what I'm saying? Because again, that's where our kids are lacking. I'm telling the kids that swag, and maybe that's why a lot of them aren't coming yet. Is if you come up in here with no homework, oh, you're gonna write A through Z a word next to every letter. Because I'm saying when I look at some of these sign-in sheets, it's crazy. The way these kids write, the way they signing in. You know what I mean? They can't even write their full name, or they can't even. Some of them don't even know how to spell their own name. Like your name is Williams, so why you got a V? No, Mr. Gary, that's a W. Or what? you know. So I feel like again, we need to be able to find as many academic tutorial to the down to the minute of yo man, like I do in my training. I'm like, okay, you know everything, but what's 3 times 4, right? And kids will, oh my god, 3 times. They start counting on their fingers and everything, But I'm like, forget it. You 16 and you count on your fingers 3 times 4, right? Or I'll say, in a heated moment or a kid is all flustered, what letter come after P? And kids will say B, F, R, S, T. No, wait, I meant this, I meant that, But again, that's why I tell them relax, And one of the favorite things my grandmother used to say is think before you speak. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these kids, they just blurt out dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then they go, well, that's not what I meant. So I'm going to read another one of my uncle's comments when I talked about the AAU and all that. So he said the first thing is the Board of Ed should offer inner city folks opportunities to coach high school, provide necessary training, and offer help getting coaching certificates. Allow them to help keep our talent home. They make it hard for us to coach with some made up rule you have to be a teacher. Come on, that's old and outdated concept. Provide jobs for folks our kids are comfortable playing for and being around. Folk who interact with them all year round. I coached as a school police officer, and they made it so hard for me to become a head coach after winning multiple state championships under arguably one of the best high school coaches Connecticut has ever had. Keith Pierce, a truancy officer, one of the best high school coaches in Connecticut, made it hard for Keith to get a head coaching position. And you wonder why our kids are sucked up to AAU and out of district schools. Crazy, but you are on the right track about our kids being exploited. So again, I know everybody's gonna say, "Oh, well, Hardin this and Bentley and them did it this way, and that's why this and that." And they had so many kids to choose from. Of course, their success rate would be higher than someone else's, right? But they had the father figures. You know what I'm saying? They had the uncles, and even though my Steve is my uncle, my blood uncle, you know, Keith Pierce was the same. It was felt the same and equal that I can go to him and have that fear of him and respect of him like I have for my uncles. Mr. Bentley was how many of our fathers? You know what I'm saying? Whether you played basketball or you just was a kid in the school, you had respect and fear, for Mr. Bentley, And I think we need more of that, and I think we have some of those guys out there. But like my uncle was saying, they just don't get the opportunity because they don't teach in the school, And I feel like some of these teachers in our communities, they want the job as a control thing and to say, yeah, I'm the coach of Hardin. But one of the things that I spoke on before is how can you bring a guy that might be a really good coach, but he's from Ridgefield, to bring him into Bridgeport or to New Haven or to Hartford to coach Weaver, to coach Hillhouse, to coach Bassick? How can that guy really reach those kids? And I know you guys are going to say because he got a degree, but how can he really understand what that kid is going through today? and why he was late to practice today because he had to wait for his mother to come home to watch his 6-year-old sister that he had to pick up from school today. That coach don't understand that. You know what that coach is gonna say? Oh, you're always late. You always got an excuse. You're always this and this and that. No, but life is hitting me. You know what I'm saying? Life is hitting me, bro. So I feel like to me, I'm against that it should have to be a coach. I mean, a teacher, to be the head coach. I feel like like I said earlier in the show, that we need guys that are from our community to be our face. And one of the guys that I'm fighting for is my boy Marcus Lofton. His father, Bernie Lofton, a legend in our community, did a lot of great things for people in our community, on the court, off the court, through community programs. And I feel like, Marcus needs to have a shot. Marcus is one of us. And I think there's other guys out here that need a shot. And I know some of them don't want to come into Bridgeport because they feel more comfortable and they feel like they have more control over their kids and situations in suburban towns, But I think if we gave them the support system to say, listen, man, if you become the head coach at this school, you know what I'm saying? I think that we can, through partnerships, help you with a tutorial program. I think, some of these black restaurants, because all of a sudden there's 500 black restaurants out here. I think some of them could say, you know what, we're going to help you through feeding the kids. So I feel like if we can have some more programs where the kids can have support from multiple people and multiple agencies, not just one agency or two agencies, or the one that gets all the political love. I think that we can do great things here in across the cities, not just in Bridgeport. I also feel like what's the other thing? I also feel like we need to reach out to our local colleges, right? I feel like a lot of people, especially these trainers, because there's a million basketball trainers out here now. Everybody's a basketball trainer. I feel like us as basketball coaches / trainers, as people involved with sports, right, that we need to build relationships with University of Bridgeport, Southern, UNH, Sacred Heart, Quinnipiac. You should be on first name basis with those people, or they should know who your organization is. I think that we can get free tickets to Sacred Heart, to Fairfield U games now. They're top 25, the girls. I think that if we start pushing some more of our kids into those schools, because in reality, a lot of us can't send our kid to Texas to go to college. A lot of us can't send our kids to Georgia or to Florida to go to college. Some of our kids need to be close to us because they've used to being coddled, and they might not be mature enough to move to to go across the country. Some parents like, yo, my son nosebleed, he probably gonna go to the emergency room. You know what I'm saying? Because he never had to deal with a situation like that. So I think that we need to look more into reality when it comes to schooling. I know a lot of people want to say, oh, this kid is Division I, this kid is Division II, III, or this kid is better than this kid. But a lot of kids get better at the end, right? So that's where, and a lot of kids go to college that probably weren't better than certain kids, but because they're academically eligible. You know what I'm saying? I know they're having a new out with kids. Some schools, they're not accepting SAT prep, but you still got to learn how to read and write. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think with sending kids to prep school, a lot of kids get by through online classes, right? So, or smaller setting classes, right? So I get it. Prep school for some people is great because the kids need smaller settings and whatever, but some of these prep schools are basketball prep schools. So they're taking your kid. Yeah, I'm going to take Mookie because he's the top 10 kid in Connecticut, even though he got a 1.7 GPA. But I'm going to take him because he's going to make me win 2 years. And then I'm going to leave that school, and the coach is, and then I'm going to go get me a better job. And then by the time it's time for this kid to go to college and graduate in 2 years from my prep school, I'm already gone. He's not my responsibility. And there's too many kids getting stuck like that. Kids are going to these schools, the coaches is leaving, and I had to learn that with our girls. A lot of the girls that we had that were getting recruited, after talking to hundreds of college coaches, because we had some big time girls, a lot of the coaches are saying, Gary, we better make sure that that guy's going to still be there, or that coach is still going to be there, because they're in the hot seat. They offering everybody now because they know they might not be there next year or the year after. So a lot of those type of things come into play. I've had people talk about, one of the most important things for a kid is being able to live there. Okay, so say your kid went to University of Wisconsin, full basketball scholarship, tears their ACL, they out for the year, they got to be there. They tore their ACL in October. Now they got to live there without playing for a whole another year, right? With no basketball. You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna probably take another half a year to rehab, right? So a lot of kids, you know what they're gonna do? Oh, they coming home. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they say you need to have your kids go somewhere where if their opportunity isn't welcoming anymore, whether it's basketball, football, or soccer, that they can still go there for school and that they're comfortable in those settings. I think that, uh, and again, we should have organizations that uh, help offer and can explain those type of yeah, that can explain those type of things, and have people who I always say when we used to go on these college trips, I'm like, you know what, when we go visit this school, we're going to talk to the kid that's on the end of the bench. You know what I'm saying? Because that kid he was here also, probably he was welcomed here on a scholarship, or potential to get a scholarship, and he ain't playing or she ain't playing. So they going to tell us how it is and how they were recruited into this school, right? So you don't make that same mistake. And some people, you want to go to school because you want to be around a black person, a black coach, or a white coach, or a Spanish coach, or a female coach. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own preference, and not everybody's preference is I want to go play at UConn, Duke, and North Carolina. And I always tell kids that UConn, Duke, and North Carolina know 4 years from now who they're going to get. You know what I'm saying? They knew in 2022 that they was going to get this kid right here. And that's the kid that they were going after. But that kid also knows that in 2023 they might see another kid and they're going to get him too, and now you there fighting for school, right? But like I'm telling these kids, you don't want to go where you want it, you want to go where you need it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you go where you need it, they're gonna make sure you got grades. They're gonna make sure you got food when the calf closed. They're gonna make sure you can get home. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna make sure you're not struggling, right? A lot of kids struggle on college campuses, right, Si? A lot of kids struggle on college campuses with eating, right? Because that cafeteria closes at what? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Now you got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And you might go in there, they got a meatloaf special, and you don't like that, right? But hey, now you got to figure it out. Now you got to get money from your family. Now your family got to send you money, right? You got to have clothes, you got to have deodorant because they're not giving you money for that. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think if we can create support groups for small people, hold on one second. Can you go to a video or something real quick? Can you go to like something else where they don't? All right, my bad. A little commercial break. You know what I'm saying? So, what else? What else we need to talk about up here? Um, who else is on? Carolyn. What up, Carolyn? What day and time is your podcast? We doing pop up podcasts here. Carolyn, we not doing no days. We doing whenever I feel like I got something on my mind. I'm popping up. I'm popping up. How's Rhode Island treating you, Carolyn? See what else we got up here. Carolyn Askew was one of my biggest supporters when I created swag and do community. I got my back against the wall, Carolyn. What else? Guess I could talk about. Yeah, let's talk about. I put another post. Might have to talk about how long have our kids been. No, I talked about that. Talked about the AAU. Okay, here we go. I might want to talk about the culture vultures and platforms that are used to portray themselves as the voices of our communities, but they really not, and our puppets. But y'all don't hear me though. But y'all do hear me. So the culture vulture, for you, those that don't know, got this from Dame Dash. The people that take advantage of our culture, they go out there and they act like, oh, I'm here for the culture. I speak for our people. I want our people to do good. Blah 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 blah. Wrong. You don't speak for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not too many people that's out here on these platforms that speak for me. They might speak for some of y'all, but you know, I feel like a lot of I'm not into politics. I don't know nothing about politics. Um, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm for the people. I'm for the people, and I hope that the politicians are for the people. I know some of them are. I know I haven't been supported by them all because I'm not a registered voter and I don't live in Bridgeport, I guess. So I don't have any issues with the Bridgeport politicians. I'm thankful for a couple of them. Uh, I'm thankful for Mr. Gaston, Senator Gaston, for supporting our organization last year through some finances through the state. Um, I'm thankful for the mayor for giving me an opportunity to be in this city, I guess. And I'm thankful that they support other organizations to keep them afloat. Uh, but sometimes it's good to be able to walk around with no shirt on and no strings attached. Uh, some of y'all need to realize that you need to tuck in your strings because they're showing, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But I I think what I'm trying to say is sometimes I say things because I don't have the strings. And maybe if I had the strings attached, that maybe I'll be a better person. But without the strings attached, I feel like I could say a little bit more and do a little bit more because I'm not restricted. Uh, I, again, am thankful for our community and the surrounding communities for being uh, supportive of our communities through donations, through uh, I don't know. I really don't know what politicians do. I know that my past experiences I had with Heidi, you know, Nieves, that's our city council president. She has supported Swag when I opened it. She did give us opportunity to have the COVID center, clinic, whatever you want to call it here through Griffin Hospital. Um, but again, I don't really know nothing about politics, so I don't touch it, you know. And again, if they do come over and support us, they do. If they don't, hey, it's not like I'm out here saying vote for Johnny, vote for Peter. I'm really not. I'm really just saying, help. Help with the kids and do what it is that you do. Do use your strengths to be able to help empower our community. And if you don't, hey, that's on you. I'm not again trying to help anybody get into office. I just try to use my relationships with the people who have strength in certain things. So again, I know a lot of people have issues with the mayor or the whoever their politicians are in their communities. I don't, because they don't bother me and I ain't bothering them. So as far as culture vultures, though, you know, culture vultures are more people that you see all the time and they feel like I'm speaking for the people. Um, and I think culture vultures know who they are. I don't have to say who they are. Um, and I think that the culture vultures would be in their minds are saying, well, Gary just mad because people don't help him and because he's not in this room or that room. I don't want to be in that room. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be in a room with people and kids that are looking to grow as kids, as players, as parents, as fathers, as mothers, grandmothers, because I end up dealing with them all. Sometimes I think more I'm a social worker than I am trying to be a basketball coach or executive director. Um, and yeah, Gary need to go back to school. Gary need to learn how to do this. I've had directors tell me that, oh, well, Gary should go back to class before he tries to do this and that. No, I've been to class already. My class was in this city, day to day, on this street, on that corner, in this cell, in this group home house, in this. Those are my lessons. Those is how I had to figure out how to get out of those situations and how to prevent other kids and people from being in those situations. Like I tell parents all the time, fathers, mothers. I don't want my father. I don't want his father talking to him, and I don't want his father at the game, and I don't want his mother because she don't do this. She ain't crap. She's messing with this dude. And yo, listen, man, what does that have to do with little Gary the kid? He got nothing to do with him. You know what I'm saying? So, in a lot of moms, you guys block the dad because he's messing with a girl that you went to school with, nursing school with, but that don't got nothing to do with little Gary. You know what I'm saying? Um, a lot of men don't, and it's vice versa. The men don't want to deal with the kid because your mother's messing with somebody I went to high school with. Well, 1,000 people went to high school with you, right? For me, 3,000 people went to high school with me. So am I supposed to be mad at my baby mother because she messed with a dude I ate in the same lunchroom as? You know what I'm saying? No, that's stupid. That's just an excuse, you know? And through my traveling, I've seen men, whether they were incarcerated, whether they were in the streets drinking or in the club somewhere, feeling some kind of way, um, have some regrets and have some feelings where they cry, get to the point of tears. And men do cry. And I'm like, bruh, but why can't you just do this? Man, this chick, man, this and that, man. This chick, man, my kid, man, yo, G, man, yo, I can't get a real job. She keep telling me I need to get a job, but I don't got no GED. I don't got no diploma. I don't even know how to get one. Man, what I look like going in there to go to night school and do this and that. How am I supposed to do that? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I say, man, how I want to be able to create a program that's a day program and a night program. You know what I'm saying? That parents can come here. It's not a GED program. I'm not trying to recreate the adult ed. I'm saying, why can't we have small learning groups, right? With a retired teacher or somebody that's educated that knows how to break down simple math and simple reading and sound of the letters, where we can bring in these guys that's don't have a high school diploma, and give them, you know, small workshops that we can put them on the path. So all they got to do is go somewhere and sign up for a GED. You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's the name offers that? What's the name offers that? They all they got to do is go do this and they get their insurance and do this and do that. Yeah, but everybody ain't comfortable going to City Hall or going to Housatonic to take a GED class because they know that that teacher is going to be judgmental. Why is this dude 45 years old with Jordans and Levi's on over here asking for education? He should have been did that instead of wearing Jordans, right? Because that's what you people do. Like me and Joe say, you people always judgmental. Instead of buying Jordans, he should have paid for instead of buying Jordans, he should have paid for a tutor. You know what I mean? Instead of taking his kid to Disneyland, he should have did this. Yeah, well, maybe this is the only time he could go to Disneyland. Maybe he hit the number. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he hit the number and he said, you know what? Well, I got this 5Gs, man. I don't care. My kid's gonna miss school because I'm off of work. I ain't got no job, but I got 5Gs. My kids is going to Disney. You know what I'm saying? And can you judge him for that? No. Because who the freak are you? You take your kids to the Bahamas and wherever you take them during school. Some of them supposed to be in summer school. You're like, are we going to? I don't. He ain't going to no summer school. We going to the Bahamas. We already bought tickets. You know what I'm saying? And that hurts. That hurts the kids. But again, in a minute, we're gonna be homeschooling anyway. if y'all keep letting these kids with this social media gangster stuff keep going online, talking about, oh, I'm gonna shoot up the school, oh, I'm gonna blow this up if I don't have that, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna shoot my teacher because she gave me a F. Yeah, well, you didn't even do anything. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's where I think we need programs where the kids can come and release some energy, release and talk. You know what I'm saying? And feed them. And yo, man, listen, man, here, come over here, man. And Shamika's gonna braid your hair. You know, shout out to Erica Thomas. You know, Erica Beverly, for those who don't know who Erica Thomas is. You know, she donated her time to come over here and give a couple of kids, braid a couple of kids' hair. You know, we had the Firebirds come here and give a couple of kids some haircuts during for the back to school. You know, but why I got to be for back to school? I'm not saying that against the Firebirds, but I'm saying against the barbers. You know, we got barbers out here with $30 haircuts. So you telling me you got $30 haircuts? You can't take a day or a day a week, a day a month, and say, you know what, G, I'm gonna give you a barber from my barber shop. I'm gonna give you a day a month, right? So now we got 5,000 barbershops. Then everybody's gonna give us a day a month, right? Now imagine that kid, how many kids you're gonna empower through that simple one, or give them one of these crispy fresh baldies, but you can give them a one with a little shape up, right? And that kid will feel good about himself when he goes to school, right? Instead of saying, man, their parents, man, they need to do this and that. Oh, they got this, they got that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I'm saying for you know what I'm saying? Like I always say, I'm trying to go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of foul stuff coming up because again, I had to figure it out. But now I try to give back as much as I could. And I'm saying is a lot of us, we've been through some stuff and in some situations where we need to give back. You know what I mean? And sometime our time, even if it's an hour, that hour that you at pregame, and that's my spot, pregame. But that hour, that 3 hours you at pregame, why can't you give an hour to a kid with a haircut? You know what I'm saying? That same shot you bought Shorty over there, why can't you give that kid a haircut? You know what I'm saying? And again, you ain't got to come do it here at Swag. You could do it at any other organization. But I feel like we all have to find some way to be able to give back other than putting on Facebook, oh, rest up for this kid. Oh, prayers for this kid. Oh, we need to find more. There's already programs like that. There's already facilities that need help and need volunteers, right? But everybody want to volunteer when somebody get killed. But then when you call them a week from now, oh man, I'm busy. Oh, I got this going on. I got that going on. You know what I'm saying? But when it's hot, oh man, and prayers to the lady who passed away on the highway a couple weeks ago in Bridgeport. But everybody was all mental health. Oh, we need to do this and we need to hug each other. We need to do all of that and do all of this. But what came from that? What came from that? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody. I'm not saying me, but I haven't seen so many people popping up with mental health mental health programs or workshops. I haven't seen somebody say, "Yo, we want to come over here," and not here. It could be any community center, and we want to bring in a bunch of kids and just talk about this. You know, but no, I want to do my own. I got my own 9 kids, and I got my own, and the politicians or whoever going to come in and be guest speakers, right? No, I'm bringing in Pookie because everybody know Pookie from '97. I'm bringing in Johnny. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing in Shamika. You know what I'm saying? Who lost a son. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing in this dude who got shot in the leg or in the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing in these guys because they're real stories. You know what I'm saying? And when you see them, that's why with a lot of our kids, I hit them with the real life stories. And people are like, oh, you hating on this one or you hating on that one. No. But I'm saying, how many of us have seen, I'm always going to go back to basketball. How many of us have seen star basketball players in our community, right? Oh, man, he going to make it. Oh, this one's going to make it. This one's he's about to be the next one. You know what I'm saying? And then where do they end up at? Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Working at Home Depot, chilling at Washington Park, doing this and that. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, let's better prepare them for that. You know what I'm saying? Other than just putting this kid on a pedestal of going to the NBA, the first thing you have to get through college, right? So as much as y'all want to say Lil Jaquan is going to the NBA, if he can't get through college, he ain't going to the NBA unless he's going overseas. You know what I'm saying? But then he's going to go to the NBA from overseas, but he can't read his contract. And then we got to listen and read about him being broke and being ripped off by his managers and everything like that. So how about we prepare men? I seen a post today. How about we prepare more people to be able to use their hands through trades and everything, right? I remember my sister, she used to go to a trades program at Bullet Havens, you know But why can't we have more trade programs? Oh, well, they do. They have trade programs all over the place. People just got to look it up. Everybody don't got social media. Everybody don't got social media. You know what I'm saying? Just like this ain't gonna reach everybody, your turkey drive ain't gonna reach everybody. Your book bag drive ain't gonna reach everybody. But how about we go into those places? You know, how about Gary Crooks? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on at Gary Crooks, but I'm just mentioning it because I know that's a community or was a community center right next to the P.T. Barnum. What's going on in there? You know what I'm saying? I know the Rafaela Teller Center, they got stuff going on in there. You know what I'm saying? But um, why can't we collaborate on things? Because I'm not saying the Teller Center, I don't have no issues with the Teller Center. I'm a fly kid. But I'm just saying is I think if we work together, the Teller Center, let's say the Teller Center and Hall neighborhood, they both have gyms. Why can't the Teller Center and Hall neighborhood work together to run a big league? Right? Why can't the Teller Center, Hall neighborhood, and Swag work together to run a big league? Right? Because it's Eagles, right? Why can't the Sheen Center work together with they do work with other people other than me, and I like Lorraine a lot. Her kids play for me and everything like that. And I have no beef with Lorraine at all. But I just feel like we don't collaborate enough. And I feel like I have to be the lead. I have to be the head, or I'm smarter than you. And I'm not talking about Lorraine, because again, I like Lorraine. Her kids played for me, her daughter played for me. Kelsey. I love Kelsey to death. But I'm just saying is I feel like we should be able to come together and empower each other. Like me, again, I keep saying I'm not your average executive director. Nope, I don't know this, I don't know that. But how many directors have called me to say, you know what, Gary, I got this workshop over here. I've been to one, but I'm sure there's multiple workshops out here that people are hosting that they can say, you know what, Gary, you should go do this. Right. But don't say, Gary, you shouldn't be a director because you didn't do this. You didn't go to college. You didn't take this training. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to partner with you because you got the New York guys and they giving you too much. You know what I'm saying? Because people have said that, oh, I'm not helping you. Those New York guys, they should be helping this one, that one, and this one. You know what I'm saying? But why they can't help me? You know what I'm saying? Right? And like I try to say, a lot of my messages, they might not reach the news, they might not reach the governor's office and all of that, but they reach the corners, they reach the houses that's in the community that I really want to touch. You know what I'm saying? And I feel impactful. I feel like I may not be important, I may not get all the awards, but I feel like I'm making an impact in my community or any other communities that I have been involved in. So that's another thing. See what else we got going on up here. Let me see. I done been up here a minute. That's good. That's why I say it's a marathon. We gonna keep talking. Shout out to my princess. What up, Shay? Um. Oh yeah. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel, Gary Nelson Jr. You can see our live games because we live stream our games for the kids for our basketball league. Of course, we have a free basketball league. If the kids are interested, we have kindergarten to second. They play on 8-foot hoops. We still have openings. We have third to fifth grade, and then we have sixth grade and seventh grade. So if anybody's interested, we still have spaces available. It's free registration, and all the games are here at the SWAG facility, 391 East Washington Avenue. And you can give me a call, 203-360-4829. If any kids are interested, we're going to have dance coming up. That's going to be coming up in another month, November, where the dance is free. It's going to be provided by the CCA, Miss Vanessa. So we can give you more information on that. Again, so don't forget to check that out. Our live on here for the basketball games next week, I believe, is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday for the games. When we get into October, we'll start having games live on our YouTube channel Monday through Thursday. And then a lot of the games are good, so you should check it out and just again watch it. Should support the kids because the kids look back and say, "Oh shoot, we got 70 people watch my game," so that makes them play even harder the next time. Let me see what else. Where we at? Culture Vultures. I did that. Credit for the kids. Reentry programs. Yep. So yeah. So I think we covered a lot of the stuff that I already posted. And again, I would love to have people come on the show, come up here, give your opinion, talk about what you got going on, talk about your own program. You ain't got to talk about me and my organization. Talk about what you feel. Like Miss Regina said, when I said let's talk about making more programs and life skill workshops. She said yes, we need more social skills, finances, and the importance of credit. Again, those are not my strengths. I can't teach that. But if there's people out here that can offer that and not just say it on my post or not just say it on this show because or people are looking at it, I'm open for that. I'm open again to talk and to partner with people and collaborate. You know what I'm saying? Partner and collaborate is the same, but again, it could be your thing. If you saying, you know what, G, I want to just rent the room because we rent in our classroom space for $25 an hour. So if anybody want to rent the dance room, you can do your own dance class. You don't have to be swag or nothing. That's $25 an hour. We have some classroom spaces if you just want to go in there and set it up for a workshop or whatever. You know, 25 to $40 an hour, depending on what you need in the room. And again, we right here on the bus line. I think it's like 5 buses come right here in front of the building, right? It's about 4, I don't know, about 4 or 5 buses that pass right here in front of the building. Um, again, and we're open for partnerships. We're open for ideas, fundraising ideas. We don't have a lot of gym time because I know everybody want basketball gym time. But once we get into October, swag is really running off of soccer. We have soccer leagues that run out of our facility. They're not our programs, so we're not looking for kids to sign up for soccer leagues over here. But you can contact some of the people who are running it and their own leagues here, and you can talk to them about maybe possibly getting in teams. Um, I want to salute to Clever and his CSPE league. They've been here about 3 years. Copa, which is Cacho's league, out of Winfield Park. A salute to him for coming over here and continuing their relationship with us. And again, thankful for everybody who has donated, whether it's the $5 donations, whether it's 20, 50, whatever it is that you've been donating towards our organization. I always say, this facility was built brick by brick by our community through our donations, through our different things that we need over here. Salute to the staff over here and volunteers. Joe Christie, Roderick, Cy, who else? Everybody that comes over here, all the coaches, and the parents that continuously support us, Jada, Tammy, everybody, Sherry, Earl, everybody that supports us, Leah, what up, Leah? I know I'm leaving 200 other parents out, but those are the ones that just came right off my head. But again, we're thankful, and I hope we continue to get your support, and the support grows because the building is growing. As you can see on our first floor, we got new tiles in 2 of the classrooms, and we have 3 more classrooms to finish up. So if anybody want to help us with that, if you want to help us with getting our floors done, if you want to help us with donating for sponsoring a kid, or if you want to help towards us getting more supplies and activities in here, please feel free to call me 203-360-4829. Again, if you want to make a donation through Apple Pay, Venmo, or Cash App, you can also do it through there. And again, I'm just going to be popping up. There ain't no day, there ain't no time that the show is going to be coming on. It's just whenever I got something on my mind and I got something to say, I'm saying it. You know what I mean? And you're going to see more of us here promoting through swag and even promoting some of these other community activities. And we're also going to be starting to bring up people we're going to make it fun. We're going to have people up here singing. You know what I mean? We're going to have people up here dancing, whatever they want to do, community activities, showcase yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll start having a weekly winner, you know what I'm saying, to see who stays on the longest as the karaoke or whatever it is that we're going to be doing. But this thing is going to be for the community. You come up here, no filter, as long as you ain't cussing and swearing, you know what I mean? As long as you ain't talking about the politicians, please. We're not name calling. You can talk about your opinion on how politics are ran, but I don't want to start no fires with no politicians, with no principles. I'm not name calling. Again, I just want to be able to let people have a outlet to be able to voice their opinion, and I'm definitely going to voice mine. And again, it's an opinion. It doesn't represent me as a director of the swag organization because I'm G right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not Gary Nelson Jr. And it doesn't represent anything I say when it comes to hanging out and clubbing and doing all that. I'm G. Okay. So don't call my house or don't call my people saying, "Oh, Gary said this," and Gary said when he used to be at Tipton's. Because I'm gonna talk about Tipton's. I'm gonna talk about rhythms. I'm gonna talk about Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? all of that. This is gonna be open forum. This ain't no, we not being boxed in. You know what I'm saying? And oh yeah, salute to El Dorado, Black Wall Street. It's gonna be hosted here in December. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for him once again choosing our facility to be his host site for one of his events. So I hope y'all come out and support him in that. Salute to my New York guys, Q and David, for continuously being support system to us over here at Swag and being able to give me an opportunity to grow as a program, as a director, and as a man. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for watching. Salute to my man Cy for the executive director of our show. You know what I'm saying? And thanks for coming out. God bless, and you know the rest. Deuces. We out.